Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekend watch list. This is the show where I provide you all the matches that I will be taking a look at this weekend, and even in fact, all the matches that I think that you should take a look at this weekend, especially maybe building yourself up for maybe the Spurs match against Villa on Sunday. So, without further ado, let's crack into this. As always, ESPN Plus and Sky Sports is where you can find the Bundesliga. BN Sport and BT Sport is where you can find Liga. For the Serie A, it's Paramount Plus in the USA and BT Sport for the UK. And then for La Liga, it's ESPN Plus for the Americans, an Amazon package of some sort for anybody in the UK. So let's break down maybe these five selections. It's always going to be five selections of matches that I think that you should take a look at this weekend, maybe outside any Spurs matches. And I understand not everybody's in the position to maybe have all these subscriptions or to be able to even, watch them. But I figured, just once to maybe think about over the weekend. The first one is going to be Wolfsburg versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Borussia Mönchengladbach we featured in our watch along last weekend. It was honestly what a match. I mean, if anybody thought like David and I were saying that the Giorgio Chiellini challenge on Bukayo Saka and the Euros was a nasty challenge of any sorts. I mean, you should have checked out that Borussia Mönchengladbach game against Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund actually came out to be not really ready for that Borussia Mönchengladbach, performance. Mönchengladbach had a fantastic, I think it was a 4-2 win over the Dortmund crowd, and to a degree, I would say Borussia Mönchengladbach were very much in need of those points, and maybe they can build on it again. Wolfsburg, the former leaders of the Bundesliga, did drop points to Hoffenheim in a 3-1 loss. So this is actually kind of, to a degree, maybe I wouldn't say seasons are on the line, but especially for Mönchengladbach, they need to continue to build up points because they started very, very slow and very poorly this season, and they need to build themselves back up under Adi Hütter, the former Eintracht Frankfurt coach. And you go over to the Wolfsburg, who have actually started off the season quite strongly. You might think that they need to continue that momentum going into this, and if they were to drop points again, they might find themselves in a bit of obscurity. So that game will be taking place on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. British Standard Time or UK time, and again, you can find that on Sky Sports and ESPN Plus. Moving on to the next match, it's going to be a Serie A match between Atalanta and AC Milan. This will be taking place on Sunday at 7:45. uh, Excuse me, that's a bit of a typo there. It should be 7:45 for the Atalanta versus AC Milan match. It's going to be honestly a heated affair between the two. AC Milan are doing quite well so far this season, whereas Atalanta, Gasparini's side, have been a bit inconsistent, I would say, so far. I mean, to a degree, I think they really have been outperforming themselves as a club, for the past few seasons, but hasn't been maybe the star, maybe the best start, maybe for them, you might say. And so AC Milan are going to be the away team in this match, and they definitely will want to continue to try to stay high up in the Serie A table. I would say the Serie A, to a degree, has been probably the most exciting league this season by far. It's been honestly spectacular to watch. Even just the highlights are unbelievable. Atalanta did just have a 2-2 draw against Inter Milan last time out, and AC Milan, I believe, had a win over Venezia or Spezia. I'm not too sure. I'm forgetting now, but AC Milan and Atalanta, I would say Atalanta are in need of these points. They will be at home for this one. So let's hope that they're able to maybe pull something away here. But at the same time, the AC Milan faithful will want to be able to continue their run of form. Moving on to number three, it is going to be Man United against Everton, one of the very early matches of the weekend. It's going to be at 12:30 p.m. British Standard Time, UK time on Saturday, bright and early for us in the USA, especially in the Eastern Standard in the Eastern time zone for me in New York. It's going to be 7:30 a.m. Probably try to wake up for it. Might be a bit difficult, but it definitely is going to be a fantastic match considering that Man United did drop points, of course, to Aston Villa, whereas Everton did have that 2-0 win away to Norwich. And you think, this might be, the time where Manchester United, especially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or Ole Gunnar Schuschneider, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is going to have to maybe find a way to get some points here, because I would say if he were to continue to drop points, I don't know how much longer his job is going to be, held there. And yeah, and Rafa Benitez, though, has started off quite strongly. Hopefully he can come up with a bit of an upset here, but I would just say I'm definitely going to be backing Everton for this match. Not going to be too biased. or I'm going to be very biased for this one, excuse me. And so everybody, I would just say, do let me know which one you'll be rooting for in this match. And I would say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need these points here because I do think he has a bit of pressure on his back at the moment. Going on to our second match that we should be featuring this weekend is going to be Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona, also taking place on Saturday at around 8 p.m. British Standard Time, UK time. I do think that's going to be actually a quite spectacular match. It's going to be 3 p.m. for me in the USA. Atletico Madrid have been scraping by, I would say, very, very lucky with some of the performances that they have had so far this season. Haven't been too impressed actually by Diego Simeone this season, but they do find a way to get it done. I'll tell you that. Whereas with Barcelona, of course, there have been plenty of managerial rumors. On the line, Ronald Koeman might be without a job very soon, especially if he maybe were to drop points here. And then as well, there's a new manager supposedly linked with them named Marcelo Gallardo, who's supposedly from River Plate, might be considering that Barcelona job and also is being considered for that Barcelona job. So there you go, everybody. I would say, just watching this one just for maybe, the potential of, managerial sacking this season, especially high caliber managerial sacking as well. Anybody that, is willing to watch this one, I would just say keep a lookout maybe for the body language of certain Barcelona players and whatnot, because it could be maybe one of the final games for Ronald Koeman. I would just say maybe Atletico probably. I would predict maybe to win this one, but again, maybe Barcelona might prove me wrong, and also their desperation, to maybe win back some of the faith of the Catalonian faithful. So moving on to number one, though, it is going to be Liverpool versus Manchester City on Sunday, taking place at 4:30 p.m. UK time. British Standard Time. I would just say just goes without saying. It's been a very classic match. Pep Guardiola versus Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, is started off the campaign very, very strongly. I did predict that Liverpool might surprise a few this season. Maybe not really surprise them, but you might just say I didn't think a lot of people, maybe took them seriously as maybe being title contenders or even getting, high up the table this season. And I absolutely had them with my Premier League predictions as either being second or first this season. So disappointed to see that to a degree. I don't really want to be right in that regard, but at the same time, Manchester City are also in desperate need, to maybe impress the fans in the case of their drop or in case of their recent loss against PSG. They might be a bit more tired, a bit more kind of leggy than maybe Liverpool had a very, very easy time against Porto. And then as well, of course, Manchester City did pull off, though, that great 1-0 win over Chelsea away from home as well. So maybe they might be able to do it again. Maybe they'll be able to do it again. But that will do it, everybody, for this weekend watch list. Apologize that it's a bit short, kind of taking a bit of a day off today with David before we hit you with everything with the preview and the stats with Jack tomorrow. So hope you enjoyed this one. As always, this is my weekend watch list. These are the matches that I do think that everybody should take a look at this weekend. But I'll be seeing you. Have a good weekend, everybody.